Hey everyone, welcome to the Big Roofs podcast. Today I have a special guest, Corey Cullather at WebFX. Our team's super excited about this podcast because what Corey does addresses a lot of issues that roofers have. Corey, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Tell me a little bit about you. I read the deck you sent me, but very interesting, very well positioned. Tell me a little bit about your bio.
Yeah, so started off in the construction, field with my father and his, family-owned business. Was an electrician, but also he was a general contracting. So did a little bit of everything or anything they asked. Did that for gosh, between 16 to 20 years, kind of, went and worked for other people, but always came back to pops. And then transitioned from that into sales and digital marketing. Started with the old YP.com and the yellow page days, which everybody, well, some people remember, might be showing my age a little bit, but been in digital marketing for about 16, 17 years and specialize in home services, roofing and HVAC are my main. Everybody asks why I don't, focus on electrical since I was an electrician because everybody knows an electrician like everybody knows a real estate agent. So I feel I want to help the two that have the most searches and need the most help with helping them in a digital world and uncovering issues.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well,
Yep.
let's get into it. We have a lot to cover today, and the biggest one that we want to talk about, if you're frustrated with marketing agencies, you've maybe been screwed over by people or just maybe not had great results. We're going to talk a lot about how it's really essential to have your marketing agency connected with your CRM and why like the power of data flow, pushing and pulling that data flow. You mentioned before we hit record is like the one to one. What does it actually mean when we talk about push and pull and between a marketing agency and a CRM, and why is that connection so important for roofing contractors?
Yeah. And I mean, it's more than just important, it's detrimental to the success and longevity of their company as far as, getting that first, that data push pull is because now you're matching, every platform or what you're working with to the revenue and being able to understand, okay, I'm getting this much revenue from my map pack. I'm getting this much from my organic Facebook, my organic SEO, my paid advertising, my Bing, all these different channels that now, as a business owner, you can make smarter decisions on where to position your dollar. Okay. To know exactly, I put a dollar into, Map Pack and I get $11 back instead of just saying, oh, we brought in this much revenue, but you're really not maybe doing the right things. If you go by just what a homeowner says, oh, I saw you on Google, I saw your truck, that's just the last place that got them to make a decision. That doesn't, talk about the journey because they didn't just need a roof. Whoop, today, I saw a truck. Hey, I need a roof today. It doesn't work like that. And to have those full integrations and everything is so important to that. But also being able to use your own first party data is where a lot of people are missing to where they're doing, direct mail or knocking on doors and if you have that data, why not do some digital things around it? And a lot of companies aren't doing that. And a lot of marketing companies aren't fully integrated with a CRM. And what that, can uncover is you'll hear marketing companies say, hey, we brought, $5 million in revenue this year to, Bob's Roofing, but they're not integrated. So they're taking credit for everything that if they were integrated, you'd be able to fully see what they're getting credit for and where to position more money. Hey, if I'm getting it here. So there's just, it's so important to a roofing, any construction business to be fully integrated. And if you're not, you're missing so much as far as potential revenue that's just sitting out there that you're not taking advantage of.
I am totally guilty of everything you just said. I wish we had met 10 years ago because lead source and understanding where to put the money for marketing was always a struggle for me. That towards the end I got a lot better before I sold my business, but in general, I think this is a big issue that people don't realize the power of understanding the accurate data for where to put your marketing dollars and who should take credit, like you said, for that revenue. So what let's get down to a little more detail about this. So what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see when you're actually when that connection's missing? What do you see? You kind of touched on a lot of those things, but like if we get down to it, like name three examples of what's the result of missing connection.
I think with SEO is the first and foremost, because so many people are, focused on their Google business profile and all of that. But to be able to see and separate, what is coming from the map pack and what's coming from the organic, that's that piece right underneath the map pack. And breaking that down and being able to see that true number is one thing that if you're not integrated, I don't believe you can see. I could be wrong, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that has something that's doing that, but that's one key thing. The other piece is the data mining and taking all that data that's coming in through that website, through all those resources that's just sitting in a CRM that if it was integrated with the marketing, that marketing company can take and pull that data, and these are people that are ideal clients that you've done business with. Wouldn't you like to be able to clone those people and find more like them? If you're not integrated, it's a lot more difficult to be able to do that. Not just building lookalike audiences, but let's say you're a roofer and you also do siding and you did their roof. Well, if you don't have this data and connect it, you're not able to pull, all right, well, now let's target those people that didn't get siding or whichever one. There's so many different pieces of that, but also being able to utilize that in your geofencing, your programmatic. There's just so much digital opportunities that are being missed because of this. But it's truly understanding your numbers and truly understanding your business and what your marketing is doing. It's just like going and getting your a test done, going to the doctor. You think you're healthy until you get that report and you uncover all these things. If you're not integrated with your CRM properly, push pull fully, you're not truly know if there might be an underlying cancer that you're missing out on.
Yep. Again, guilty of all that. Guilty of being like, oh, I just spent money over here I shouldn't have spent, or I should have spent more money on this marketing strategy to actually produce more results. Just because I didn't have that connection. So I love this. I know a lot of people have the same question, like, how do we do this? So
Here's how roofers make it home for dinner every single night without losing a single sale, even when they're one-man shows. Automate your communication with ProLine, the only communication-first CRM for roofers. Because when you fix your communication, you'll sell more jobs. Your weekends will smell more like sunscreen and backyard barbecues than that crappy gas station coffee. And all you got to do is ask these roofers.
Where we had about 200% growth, and I attribute that to incorporating ProLine.
But just with one automation, I was able to get 25 Google reviews.
It's been absolutely insane how quickly we were able to grow.
Now, ProLine's not going to win the beauty pageant, but it will save your Saturday. Now, back to the show.
let's kind of shift a little bit in the same direction of like, okay, so we're talking about ChatGPT and AI and basically the one thing on the deck that you sent me was like the changing consumer behavior, like and understanding your ideal customer too. So like people, a lot of marketing agencies, like there's a side by side graph where this is how marketing agencies basically divvy up the marketing effort, money, effort, but this is how your consumers may search for your services. And so let's talk about like we're seeing search expand beyond Google, ChatGPT, voice assistants, AI driven recommendations. How is this shift starting to impact the way homeowners actually find contractors?
Yeah, and it's a huge impact because we all want instant gratification. We want answers. So they're not going directly to Google to research. They're going to these AI engines and they're asking exactly what they're looking for. I want a trusted roofing company with, client reviews, local, best cost, whatever it is, however they're looking that's near. And I'm getting an answer, not just based off of, okay, they're doing a lot of marketing, a lot of SEO and all this, and they're ranking well, blah, 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 all that. This actually will show recommendations, but it also gives resources of where they found and why they recommend them. It can be from a Better Business, it can be from Yelp, it can be from reviews on their map pack or their organic. So it's pulling everything it can and giving them exactly what they need, to where if you don't have, and then you always hear SEO is dead. No, it's been reincarnated, and it's more important in now than it's ever been. Because if you're not doing those proper things, map pack, organic, and doing blog posts relevant to your area and stuff like that, then you're going to miss out because you're not going to be in those answer engines. And that has the fastest growth than anything we're seeing right now. And if you're missing that, it's like trying to jump on a train when it's going 120 miles an hour, or you can jump on it when it's going 5 miles an hour and get the VIP seat. Companies that are adapting this are gonna see a much better return and conversions, because now people can go from that and go right to their Google business profile. So their business profile is gonna be even more impactful. But people are doing all their research on ChatGPT because for some reason, even though it's been around just a short period of time, it's such a trusted resource
Yep,
because it answers us. It doesn't ask more questions.
that's
It
right.
will if you want it, but it gives you the answer that you're striving for because you don't want to go and do a lot of research on Google.
Yep, that's
And
awesome.
even
So
to that point, yeah,
you're
go
kind of
ahead.
touching
No, I
on
was just
this.
going to say,
Oh, go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, I was just gonna say, and why it's also so important, and even Google has seen the importance of it, that now you have AI overview. So AI answer stuff is taking up 70% of the real estate on Google. So it knows it's important. So when are roofers? And
Interesting.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
you're fine. You're fine. You're touching on my kind of my next question, but if people are watching and they're listening to this, um, you talked about a lot of great things, but what's if you're a roofing contractor, what is the one thing they need to start doing right now to actually stay visible on these new types of searches?
So the best thing is to do is they've got to take themselves out of being a roofer and being a non-educated homeowner, and then going into these answer engines, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot, Gemini, all of them, and ask questions as if a storm just came through and I know I can look across the street and see my neighbor got some damage. I need to know if I have any blah, 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 and do those searches and see what kind of, what comes up.
That's
And
awesome.
then even ask those, hey, I live in Texas. Storms come through here a lot. What are some questions I should be asking when looking for a roofing contractor? Now, if to help them out and get them prepared for all this, that roofing contractor can actually go on their page and make sure on their website they're answering these questions. Okay, kind of in the Q&A, having that. But it's gonna take more than that. They need to be doing blog posts that are relevant to those type of questions, and they need to be doing some type of SEO to push it out to the masses. But if they can't afford to do the SEO, make sure those questions are being answered on their website.
I love that. Yeah, they ask you answer mentality. It's Marcus Sheridan.
Yeah,
Customers are asking it. Answer those questions. It's so simple. Like years ago, I saw Marcus speak, and this is. I try to talk to people about SEO a lot, or just like any kind of website building. Just answer the questions you already answer in real life on your website.
yeah,
Just do it. Like you will get organic search results. And we did for years because nobody else was doing it. They're just like, oh, I have a
yeah.
website. I get a blog post a week or a month. I'm like, that's you got to put the effort in. This is a different type of hard work. It's not sweating on a roof.
Yeah.
It is exactly what you just said. Educate yourself.
Yeah.
We're all
And
uneducated homeowners.
yeah, and even on that, speaking of how it used to be, website was just something you just put out there, because everybody told you need to have a website. But now your website is a digital salesperson, and if it can't answer questions and be like it's speaking to, John coming to knock on my door and trying to sell me, then they're missing out on revenue these days. So it's the website, the content on it, asking and answering questions on it. It's going to be it's gonna be game changer for so many that can't really invest into the SEO and really doing a lot of that. Those little things will help out down the road.
Yep, totally true. Well, we've already again kind of reiterating this part and kind of nailing it home. Let's talk more about why it's important to work with a marketing agency that actually is CRM connected, and like what's the real danger of having a marketing agency, like an agency that's just not like, and they're like in their own little silos. Like what are some examples that you've seen, like where the two were not, and then they were synced up, and what were those like results in from your experience? What did you see like that's the change?
Yeah, speaking to the ones that are not, and you ask them, or you call them, and they're like, "Man, everything is good. Our marketing company is doing a great job." Blah 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 blah. And then I'm like, "Okay, I get that, but then would you be interested in looking under the hood to know exactly what is driving your revenue?" And they're like, "Well, okay." But being able to look at now, you have to use other tools to find out what is actually working and not, when if it was integrated, it would. And I mean, I spoke to one not too long ago and he was like, "Man, we're doing great. The company is killing it. We're showing up in the map pack, and this and that." And that's because he's been doing searches from his phone in his actual
Yeah,
location.
not clearing cache.
Yeah, not clearing his cache, and the marketing company is taking credit for it. And I showed him a report. I was like, "Yeah, great. You do actually rank 1 and 2 in your physical location, but 2 blocks over in a neighborhood that has about 80 to 100 homes, you rank 20th." So, if you were integrated properly, you could uncover things like that because you would be able to see what is coming through your local SEO and what is coming through that's branded and not branded. All the guy's traffic was coming from branded stuff of people seeing his truck and
Yep.
stuff like that, but the marketing company was taking credit for it. And he was spending, I don't even, it was retarded what he was spending and giving all the credit to them when it was his billboard, his yard signs, and his truck because it was all coming from branded. So, but even if he was integrated and that marketing company was giving him call tracking numbers, he could use that on his billboard. He could use it on his signs to know exactly where that's coming from. There's just so much data that can be pulled. Tommy Mello talks about it all the time with his integration with Service Titan, where he saw a 20% lift in revenue once he was integrated properly and you started using that data. The things you can do with the data when fully integrated, it pays for the CRM on a 10x. So you pay for a CRM, but you're not, it should be paying you back if it's being done properly. And that's a big miss in the industry.
Yeah, once again, guilty. It's what the example that you said about like the neighborhood over there where the 80 to 100 homes, that is so true. That is going back to the hard work thing. You really have to educate yourself and understand that if you're on your phone searching at your office, that is not the same thing as somebody who is even a half mile away who's never searched for roofing in their market. You need to understand and educate yourself on how all of it works. You can't just rely on someone else. They're not going to care as much as you do. You need to have some level of education so that, and the way that you have the accountability is exactly everything we've been saying is, if if you have the accurate data, you know where these leads are coming through, where this revenue is coming from, the lead source. If you can actually identify that with accuracy, you're going to say, hey, I'm going to stop doing this and I'm going to do more of this because we're generating X amount of revenue per thousand for that. Like, there's so many things. I say this all the time. People need to realize they're not roofing companies. They are marketing companies that do roofing. And there is nothing else. Like, no one's going to convince me of that otherwise. Like, from the very beginning, I had no money. I was negative. My previous company owed me a bunch of commission. One of those typical stories when I started. I knew that if I could appear to be extremely professional and I had all the branding, and it wasn't even great branding, but I knew that I wanted to change the mentality of the way people perceive me, then I could actually, exceed and excel and beat my competition. And you have to at least know some data. You have to educate yourself on how you're getting these leads and making these sales. Are they ideal customers? You've got to do all that work. The working harder thing doesn't really work anymore. You have to work smarter. You have to be smart because everyone else is getting smarter too. You can't just rely on the old ways of doing any type of home service. You have to be advanced. I mean, we talk about this all the time, but HVAC is about 10 years ahead of roofing. 5 to 10. Whoever wants to, like, as far as technology, as far as marketing, there's so many things that we need to learn and basically move 10 years it forward as fast as possible to be able to not just survive, but actually thrive and grow your business profitably. It's super. If you think it's not important, you're going to get left behind. It's only going to get. I've been the most convicted this year, the year I sold my business, than about video content and about marketing strategies than I've ever been. I thought like 5 years ago, I'd be like, oh yeah, you got to do it right now. Now it's even more important because AI will definitely change the game. And there will be a small group of people that decide to do this hard work that you're talking about. And they will be the ones that rise to the top. It's not going to be like
And
a huge pie anymore. It's going to be a small pie.
yeah, and kind of even speaking to something that you just said that I've been talking a lot about is the selling of your company, and the private equity. Everybody's talking about it. It's what a lot of people are striving for. And what we've been talking about is so detrimental to the roofing contractor when they're looking on how much their company is worth and what they're going to buy. If you take a company that's not integrated fully with their CRM, that doesn't have a strong organic brand presence, and all of those things and tracking it to be able to see, all right, this company's getting stuff from local, they're getting it from core, they're getting it from the answer engines. And then you have this company that's not fully integrated, not really doing all that and track. Which one do you think is going to get a bigger multiplier? The one that's doing all of it and fully integrated with the CRM is going to probably get an extra 1 to 2x. What would that mean to your family to invest properly if that's one of your goals, or if you're building the company to give to your kids or whatever? Brand is everything. An organic brand is the most important. I mean, you can go knock on doors until you're blue in the face. Do you want to manage 150, 200 door knockers, or manage one platform and making sure that your organic presence is strong? Because they can both bring in and work together in unison. But if I'm a homeowner and you knocked on my door, you don't think I'm gonna go, hey, ChatGPT, can you let me know about this company? John, John Cox just came by. What do you know about him? They're looking at those things. And that's what contractors don't realize. For one, look who you have knocking doors in the business card that they're sharing, because people can take a picture of it, put it in the chat GPT, tell me everything there is about this company and that salesperson. It's really scary where it's going. But if you don't have a marketing company that's properly doing it and getting the right things out there for you, you're missing on massive revenue, and so many jump ship before it starts ramping. But it's also, and I know this from the marketing world, expectations are sometimes given wrong. And that's the other piece that's, on marketing companies, giving roofing companies the wrong expectations. And that's one thing I love that we do at WebFX is we're very clear on expectations.
Love it. I love it. Well, this is a great topic we could talk about for a long time. But Corey, if a contractor wants to actually take action this week to improve their CRM and their marketing agency sync, what should they do first?
If they have a CRM, they need to get with their marketing company and find out why they're not fully integrated. Or if they say they are, prove it. Let me see ask these questions. What's coming exactly through my map pack, my core, my social, my paid, my LSAs? Really look at those things. If you don't have a CRM, I recommend you call ProLine and they can definitely help you out in getting that and get your marketing connected as quick as possible. Even if you have everything on an Excel sheet, your CRM can upload it into there, and then your marketing company can utilize to help kickstart your marketing and advertising. But if you don't know if you're fully integrated and they just told you you were, you need to make sure that it's a push pull and full open API to be able to track everything. Because there are some CRMs that do not allow certain integrations. And truthfully, I wouldn't recommend being with them because now you're just paying for one thing that is costing you money because it's not. You know, you could switch to a CRM that does fully integrate and do all that. And what you're going to benefit from that full integration and partnership between the two, it's going to pay for the CRM. You know, so that's what I would recommend to them first. And secondly, just like we all go and get, physicals and checkups and we check our health, we go to the dentist, get, dental checkups. You need to have a third party checkup on your business and your marketing and even helping check to make sure you're integrated properly with your CRM. So that's what I would recommend is getting a audit on your business and just tell the people, don't try to sell me, which I don't. I'll do audits for people anytime they want with no sales pitch. Educate you. If you want to take it to your company, great. But then I would also ask them is why are you not doing this? And did somebody else have to uncover it? So, but you've got to do these checkups on your digital presence. Just don't think it's doing well because you like the guy that owns the marketing company or you party with or go out with them, whatever it is. You can be friends, but business and what you're providing for your family and the families that work for you are depending on you to make right decisions. So get the checkups on your digital presence.
Yep. Another way that I usually think about this is that if you don't have a clear understanding and a clear picture of the money that you're putting in, you're getting this result out from all different types of marketing sources, like all lead sources. You need to do you have to do an audit. You have to. Because if you don't know, like, oh, I can go to this place and I can see what's going on here every single day of every single month to understand that you need to do an audit. So how, I thanks for coming on today, Corey. And I appreciate your expertise. I think that what you do is very valuable to the roofing industry. How and where can people connect with you? How do they learn more about WebFX? Like what's the next step for them?
Yeah, so if they want to reach out, my name will be in the podcast, Corey James Cullather. They can reach out, and once we get this, put out to everybody, I can even put my information. They can reach out, but I mean, they can find me on Facebook very easily, and they can even look at my content on there and see if it's interesting to them. It's a lot of stuff to help out contractors, but I recommend if you are watching this then you already have an interest and you need to reach out. Don't think about it, just do it. And 15 minutes is all you'll need with me. And I promise I can uncover two major gaps in your business that is costing you revenue.
Love it. Super helpful, moving the needle forward. Again, thanks, Corey, for coming on, and thanks for watching the Big Roofs podcast.